working in Photoshop, and I'm going to show you how to use a Mac. I'm assuming that most of you have never used a Mac before. So first off, this is your menu bar down here, and we're going to go to here to Launchpad. It's this thing with all the cubes. By the way, if you want to clean this up, just hit Control and then click and go to Options, Remove from Dock. I like having a nice clean menu bar, so I do that every time I sign on, and I signed on to a different computer today, so these things would be here. But I like to go ahead and clean this stuff up and make it nice and easy to see exactly what I want. I got QuickTime Player open right now because that's what I'm using to record this, and I will remove Safari and I'll put Chrome in there in a bit. But so I'm going to click on Launchpad, and you have all these icons. You're looking for Photoshop today. I'm going to click on that. It's going to take a second to open. A lot of these programs take a couple of moments to open. Now, you're going to get to this screen, and you need to log in. So use your entire email and click Continue, and then chill for a second. You have two options here. Obviously, personal account would be something you paid for. We're paying for Adobe for you, and we're the school, so you would click School Account. And what that's going to do is open up a different window, and it would be a Gmail window for you guys. I've already logged in to my Google stuff on this computer, so it didn't show that, but it would pop up with Google right there, and you'd put in your username and password. So here is the start screen for Photoshop. It is really kind of cool, kind of simple to start. Here are your options to get started. Here are things that if you want to drop in images before, and here are tutorials. So if you have a computer at home and you want to put Photoshop on there, you can, and you can do some additional stuff to learn. So obviously we're going to create new today, and you have all of these things at the top. We're going to do film and video, and we're just going to do 1920 by 1080 at 72 ppi. PPI is one of your vocabulary words for this week, and you can see that there. So I'm just going to click there, and I'm going to name this Shapes Name, because that's what we're going to do today, is write our name with shapes. So this is all set up properly. The orientation is landscape, another one of your vocabulary words, not profile, or profile. Portrait, sorry. There's landscape and there's portrait. 72 is your resolution. That is your PPI, pixels per inch, another vocabulary word. So we're going to hit create, and it's going to take a couple of moments to create our workspace. And this is the default Photoshop workspace. And if you want to change it back or get it back, like if you close something you don't know how, just go to Essentials, click on that, and then hit Reset Essentials, and it will bring you back to this. So a couple of things here. This is your toolbar. This is where all your tools are. Your selection tool is here. It's your move tool. The shortcut key for that is the letter V. We'll talk more about that as we go. And then your shapes tool is down here, and your shortcut for that is U. Now, if you click on this, you can see that we have several different shapes to choose from. So it doesn't just have to be a rectangle, and we'll go through all of that in class today. Over here is your layers panel. This is the magic of Photoshop. We'll go over that a lot in class, but this is where you can determine how things look, how things interact with each other. That is all right there. So for today's class, or today as we're opening up, this is your artboard. This is where you're going to do your work, and artboards you can get crazy with. This is just a single. It is your workspace. It is what you're going to do. You can create designs with multiple artboards, but we will get into that later as we get into creating campaigns. So today, the selection tool, the move tool, and the shapes tool are what we're going to do. So to show you how to use the shapes tool, you select here, and I am going to write my name. So there's the rectangle tool, and I'm going to put a T, the top of my T right there. So you see what happened? It created a rectangle here. I'm going to label it T top. Okay? Now I'm going to click off of that so it's not selected, and I'm going to come here and create T down. T down. And the reason I'm doing this is later when we get into animating things, you're going to want these at different layers, and I want you to understand the way layers work. Let me change the color on this one so you can see that there are two separate layers. Now, because they were both black, you couldn't tell, but now I want you to understand this. So do you see that right here, this layer T down is on top of T top? So over here, you see all of the red of T down. If I change these layers by clicking and dragging, now T top is on top of T down, and you don't see all of T down. Hopefully that makes sense to you. We'll talk about that a little bit more in class today. So there's my T. I'm going to click off to make sure I don't build in the other layer. Now here is my O. I'm going to hold down Shift on the keyboard and make it a perfect circle. I'm going to hit V, which is the selection tool, so I can move it. Okay. So that is the outer O. Now, there's a couple of ways that you can make it look like an O, the letter O. Right now it's just a circle. What I'm going to do is come back over here, I'm going to make another circle, make it smaller, I'm going to change it to white. Okay, so now, oops, didn't want it on both. Let me see where I went wrong here. Oh, okay, so do you see that it did not create another O here? That was because I had that layer highlighted. I'm going to hit Command Z and back out, and now I'm going to come over here. And there we go, it made another O, but I didn't make it circle. Perfect, so there I made ellipse 0. We're going to call it inner O. Now I'm going to change that to white and drag it right there. It's not in the perfect position, so I'm going to use my arrow keys on my keyboard to kind of center it up the way I want. So again, layers, if I put that inner O behind it, it's just a circle. But if I put that O on top of it, it is an O. So we're going to do that. You're going to spell your name today. It seems really quite simple and rudimentary, but I need you to understand layers. I need you to understand how to get into Photoshop. We will get into a lot more cooler stuff later this week and next week. So go make some awesome.